Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to 1 Million Cups Chico chapter. My name is Tim Sharkey, and I am the organizer, or one of the organizers here today with Chico Start, operations manager. I want to say thank you for you guys' time and showing up and making us part of your day, and hopefully help share the story that's going to be told in a little bit, because that's what this is about. An open door to the community to share your ideas and step into the entrepreneurial lifestyle and trying to create your own business and get it up and running. It's a big step. It's challenging. It's full of successes as well as failures. And that's part of this ecosystem, is to help share those successes and failures with everyone else around to help them succeed. Because a 2-minute conversation can save you thousands of dollars and 6 months to a year in time of trying to get over those hurdles. So it's very important that we have a platform like this. And that's where the Katlyn Foundation, creating 1 Million Cups, comes into play. So there's over 150 different chapters across the United States going live right now. Most of them are going live on Zoom. And I have to say, I've been enjoying this Zoom. So we've gotten a lot more people signing up, getting different ideas and different business concepts from outside of our area, as well as introducing people to the 1 Million Cups and having them present outside of our area. So I think this has really opened up more of a broader scope with the pandemic, which is also hard on everyone. And hopefully people are trying to pivot and come up with new ideas. So if you do have a business idea, or you know someone, your crazy neighbor Bob, please share this platform with them so they can come and join and see what it's about, because it is about sharing and creating a future for your communities, which is very much needed at this time. So we want to thank
crazy Bob.
Crazy
Sorry,
neighbor Bob. So 1 Million Cups is called 1 Million Cups because of the collective cups of coffee that we have doing business, starting your business, waking up in the morning, going over your daily plans with your spouse, your partner, going to school with the kids, getting to the office, having another cup of coffee, the next meeting you have, the afternoon cups of coffee, the walks you have to the coffee shop. And then once you get home, working on your own ideas and trying to create your own future. So collectively, the 1 Million Cups it takes to create an entrepreneurial business lifestyle. So I want to say thank you to 1 Million Cups. And we want to say thank you to our organizers. We have Eva with Chico Start. Thank you for showing up today. And we have myself, Tim, with Chico Start. We don't have Wendy with Northern California Community Colleges. She was unable to attend today, but she's one of our organizers, and we thank the community colleges. And our sponsors.
And Jackie. Oh, hold on. Don't forget Jackie. She's not here today either, but.
Oh, and Jackie, she is joining us now. Jackie McLean. And our sponsors. Right now, we're just down to one sponsor, and that's Mr. Kent. He helps us with our video and audio every week, and we really appreciate his time and his effort. And that's when we are live out in the wild. So he comes and sets up all the video cameras, the audio, and then puts it all together in a really nice package. So thank you for your time you've been helping us with. Can't be really appreciate it. So now let's get started. Today, we have a very interesting business concept, and it's called Hitched Co. And Katlyn, I can say your first name pretty darn good, but I have a hard time with the last name. How do you pronounce it?
Alegria.
Alegria. So we have Katlyn Alegria with Hitched Co. So you have 6 minutes to present your idea, and then we'll have 20 minutes of question and answer. And just a reminder, after the 6-minute presentation, we're going to take a pause and then reboot so we can record the entire Q&A and put it together. So I am going to turn it over to you.
Awesome. And do you have the presentation on you, or am I doing it on my screen?
You. So the shared screen is open.
So is that working?
It should be at the bottom of the screen. If you hover down there, it'll show up. You say share screen, it's a green thing.
Green
So
button.
go to the bottom of the screen, and then a
With your
little
pointer.
bar will pop up. It'll say share a screen, and then it'll ask you which screen you want to share. Boom, boom, boom.
Oops.
And
Tim.
And if it's not popping up, I can do it on my side too.
You know, why don't you do it on yours? Because it's saying it's going to quit something. It's going to quit me out of Zoom, and I don't know why it's saying that. My apologies.
That's okay. And documents.
So just tell Tim, you know, next slide, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Got it. So we don't have PowerPoint, so it might show a little offset with the Google Slides, but see, and this is what happens across the United States as well. It's all part of doing business. You just gotta roll with it.
Stand by for technical difficulties.
I want to put one of those. Do you have one of those? Please stand by patterns. I think that's funny. I'm gonna make that my virtual background when we hit these moments. All right, so it's uploading.
My kids started distance learning last week, and 25 kids were in the biology class and not the teacher because she couldn't get in
Really?
on the first day.
We just brought in a teacher last Friday. It's her first week with the students. She does Oroville High School District Unified.
Oh, yeah.
And it's hanging up for some reason.
And the reason why is because she can't get internet at her house. And when she went into and got special permission to go into her class to try to do it from there, someone had unplugged the internet. And I guess it takes 5 union guys and a requisition and a ticket and some other stuff to get anything done. And it was not guaranteed it would be done within a week. And so she's just like, yeah.
Oh,
I can imagine. We go live at CSU next Tuesday, or I go live next Tuesday, but everybody else starts on Monday. But
you know what? It might. Do you want me just to click this and risk getting logged out? Because it might work. Let me see.
I just got it to work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Normally, Caitlin, we have this up, so
I apologize too. Okay. So.
How's that work?
Awesome. I can see that. I can see all of our, let's see. Okay, perfect.
All right, Caitlin, let's go. The floor is yours. Just say click it and I'll hit it.
So I'm Katlyn Alegria. This right here is a photo of my trailer. It's a 1951 Boles Aero. And I found it in a junkyard in Santa Cruz and restored it to the condition you see it in. Click it. Okay, so why a mobile bar business? I had been noodling with the idea of starting my own business for probably 10 years. So I had ideas flowing in and out of my head all the time. And at the time that I kind of came up with this idea, I was working part-time at a winery out in Livermore. And I was in the master's program for special ed to become a special ed teacher. And I had kind of been exploring these ideas, looking at these trailers. I always had kind of been fascinated by them. I had seen a couple ideas of this concept in Australia. And then I was working at this winery out in Livermore, and I was realizing, oh my gosh, there's no food out here in Livermore. So what if I took one of these trailers and I drove it around to wineries and sold food out of it, like really yummy charcuterie and stuff like that. Then I started running the numbers and realized that food costs are the margins are so high, and I'm realizing that may not be this great idea. And I kind of went back to the bar idea. But again, I think fear just always kind of got in my way of actually pursuing any of my ideas. And then in March of 2017, I lost my oldest child in an accident.
Oh, no.
And over the next kind of course of a few months, I just kind of went, I just am going to do what I want to do. And nothing else scares me now at this point, because the worst thing that happened could happen. And I think what holds people back from starting their own business is fear, because, oh my gosh, this has been really challenging and hard. So I think the fear of it definitely can get in the way. But with me, that was kind of erased. So I kind of went back to the drawing board, and I started searching out people who could restore a trailer. And that was a very difficult challenge. But I found a couple guys who were willing to do it for me. And we found this trailer in a junkyard in Santa Cruz. And I went down and picked it up and had no idea what I was doing, but came up with the bar idea pretty much because I loved the idea. It was trendy. There weren't really any in the US at this time in 17. They were kind of starting in the East Coast. And based on where I had seen the mobile food trend go, I was kind of seeing that this could become a big trend. And nobody is really grumpy when they're coming to a cool bar for a drink at a restored trailer. So that was another factor. Okay, cool.
Very true.
Okay, sorry that this is kind of misaligned. That must have been the formatting of the different concepts, but okay, the solution. So what I provide as a solution is I'm self-contained, I'm mobile. I can go to, I think because when people hold events, they want to just be out of the box and not the traditional, maybe hotel room, banquet room. This really provides for that. So I can be in a boat entrance on the side of someone's yard in their backyard, or I can be at a huge estate or ranch. So I can be, and I can also be in a warehouse. So the mobility of me is huge. The mobility of the trailer, getting, so you basically can just bring a bar anywhere you need one. So that is a solution that I think a lot of people like. Okay, next slide. So my business model, and this is something that I have to admit I don't have 100% ironed out, because I keep finding new friends in the industry, mainly on the East Coast, because they've been there longer, other bars like mine. So I'm kind of refining it, but how I operate right now is there's a trailer rental fee. So for me to go out and open up the trailer, there's a rental fee. I charge a fee for the bar staff that I have out there, and then all of the non-alcoholic components of the bar. So basically, ABC in California does not issue beer, wine, or liquor licenses to mobile venues. So when I go out, I have given the client a detailed menu list of what exactly to purchase and what quantities. I can't do the transaction. I can do all the recommendations and all the menu planning, but I can't do the actual purchase for the alcohol. So this is my business model right now. And for me, I have really limited overhead. Once the trailer was purchased, restored, paid for, my overhead is really minimal. My overhead is the people, the bartending staff for the events, and then it's, you know, my insurance and my storage and stuff like that. But thankfully, I don't pay huge rent fees currently. Okay, next slide.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Okay. Yeah, that's in a warehouse. And that was it's a warehouse for a party rental company. So if you can imagine, it's just lined with racks of storage. And they cleared out some racks, they tinted it, and they put this there. And it was just incredible looking. So my competitive landscape and my advantage. So I would say for me in the Bay Area, there really isn't. There are maybe 2 other companies like mine, but nobody has a trailer. Nobody has a true vintage trailer in the Bay Area restored like this yet. There's probably 3 to 5 from like the Northern California to the Central Coast area of competition. And for me, I feel like I'm in a great position being poised to be one of the first one out there in the Bay Area. And then also, really, I have a friendly relationship with a lot of those other competitors, especially during COVID. You know, people have called and said, how are you operating? What are you doing? And I feel like coming out in the Bay Area early on with a unique trailer and with really what I would consider, I pay a lot of attention to is my service to the client. So I feel like all of those are helpful to me and pointing to my success path. There are tons and tons and tons of weddings and events in the Bay Area in a normal time. So for me, it's great that there's not really competition right now, but when there is, I think it's all just going to make us better and operate better because there's plenty to go around. There's plenty of event planners and plenty of events, and I also can travel. So it just is towing Rosie wherever we need to go. So I have a wedding next year booked down in Central Coast. So I can go lots of places with her too. Okay, next slide. Okay, COVID adjustments. So thankfully for me, I didn't have any cancellations in 2020. So all of my bookings moved to 2021. And I believe that just the way I handled that, the way, you know, we just all kind of came at it from a place of kindness and understanding. And it really worked out well with the event planners and the clients that I was working with. So I was really grateful for that. What I've started new is I contacted a couple businesses in local downtown Pleasanton. So we closed our main street so that the restaurants could operate in the main street during this time, during weekends, during the summertime. So I contacted a couple businesses and asked if I could pop up in downtown Pleasanton. And at first I didn't know what I was going to pop up with, because I can't sell alcohol on the street. I can't, like, at first I was kind of like, how am I going to do this? And what I ended up doing was I found a bartender who is making mixers for me. And I'm coming up with the recipes with him, and I'm bottling them and selling mixers. So people can come up, grab a mixer, take it home and have a cocktail. And they're unique and craft cocktail mixers that we have. So I'm doing that, and I brought in a couple other vendors who are really on trend right now, a really cute VW bus flower truck to kind of be with me and partner and kind of help market it. I've already booked one wedding off of just doing those pop-ups, which has been really nice. So I think the visibility is great. And then I'm working with talking to more restaurants, because as the restaurants struggle, they're trying to morph into more catering. So trying to talk to restaurants about how we can partner and be better together. and then started exploring different product lines, like what I can do with these mixers, and see if there's something for me to do as far as selling those as a product right now. So that's basically, that's me. So now I'm really excited for questions.
All right. Thank you so much. That was awesome, and beautiful pictures and just beautiful layout.
Great story too. Thank you so much.
So let's everyone just pop right out, and we're going to come back with a Q&A, and we'll be right back after this brief message. And let's get record button going. And we're back. And now it's time for the Q&A with Hitched Co. So who wants to go first?
Yeah.
Looks like Eva just got back.
Yeah.
So
Took
how
me a
long?
while. Sorry about that.
on
Do you
the
have a
trailer-
question? Want to start off the Q&A?
Sure. So Katlyn, thank you so much for, I'm sure you were like, what, who is this crazy person and what?
Thank you for having me.
So just for everyone's background, I met Katlyn through helping her with some SBDC work. And it sure is giving me a nice pipeline to inviting people to come learn about 1 Million Cups, but also for us to learn about their businesses. So yeah, completely selfish. But I thought her business was so unique and so versatile and such a great idea that it needed to be shared. And because she's a startup and an entrepreneur, right? She needs all the exposure she can get. Now, lastly, you know, and another selfish reason was because at the time I thought I was going to be hosting Grow Tech Fest again, and I was thinking about having her come and so as soon as we can have something in person, we'll be booking this, and everybody will get to see it for themselves in person. Yay!
Awesome.
All right, now, if you would also share, this is a question and a statement. If you'd also share with the peanut gallery here, what have been some of your challenges? Okay, and then we'll let everybody else ask questions.
So my biggest challenge has been capital by far. So I went into it bootstrapping it just completely myself, credit cards and scraping together money. And when I had first started the initial renovation of the trailer, the two gentlemen that I found, who are lovely and wonderful, but they had never restored a 1951 Boles Aero before, had estimated 90 days. It took a year. So for me, I bought it in November 2017. I didn't have it completed and in my hands and ready to take photos for content for website or marketing or anything until end of 2018, which was when the Napa fires hit. So for me, trying to get content was trying to take the trailer out when the smoke wasn't bad. So that was a crazy in and of itself. And then we hit winter. So 19 was really last year was my first full year in business. So I started just doing tons of events. So my problem was I didn't plan for that long of a period of time with no income myself. So that was a huge learning lesson. I also next time would do a construction project like this where I have timelines built into the contract. So maybe there's reduction of payment if they don't complete by a certain period of time, or ways for me to get out. I learned a lot through that process of how I handle myself and how I handle I really knew nothing going into it. So now I feel like I know a lot more and I could do it totally differently. And I know with construction, there's always issues, but I feel like I could handle it differently. So it definitely was planning. I didn't plan for the lack of income for that entire period of time, which just left me in, you know, there were days where I was like, I can't go through with this. And this sounds crazy, but I would find a penny on the ground and I would go, okay, that's weird. And then another day I'd have like the worst day and I'm like, I gotta sell this. I have to find somebody who wants to buy this. And literally I'd be walking around and I'd find another penny. And I'm like, okay, everybody says these are the problems. You want to give up and you just keep going. So I've just tried to plow through. Last year I did a ton of marketing events. I did a lot of things for free. Just to get my name in with event planners, to get my name in with, just to get the visibility and get out there. And then, so I operated at a loss last year. And then Q1 of this year, I booked $16,000 worth of events, total of 19 by the time COVID hit. And then COVID hit. So Q1 of this year, the business was doing what I had wanted it to be doing and had predicted that it would and could do. Yeah. So basically it's trying to figure out how to survive while having this idea and building it.
Yeah. And so while you face challenges in this time frame that maybe others wouldn't have, before this time frame, these challenges have taught you sooner rather than later to plan for the worst, right?
Yeah, I feel like I now could start another business and know exactly what ducks need to be in a row before you start it. And I guess maybe that's the only way to learn it is trial by fire. And at least I know that I have lived it now. And so I feel like I know a lot more than I did in 2017. That's for sure.
Okay, go Tim. I know you got a lot of questions.
When you found the trailer,
Yeah.
was it towable, or did you have to put it on like a flatbed and then bring it to your destination, or how demolished was it? It'd be fun to see a before picture in a field, and then.
Let me see if I can pull one up on my phone. It was flatbedded out. It was disgusting. It was completely, it was not shiny on the outside at all. And it had, it was a camper trailer. So it had a kitchen and bathroom and all that kind of stuff with rats. I mean, picture a junkyard in Santa Cruz. Yeah, picture that. That's what you've got. So basically we gutted the entire thing and gutted the entire thing, which was the first process. Huh?
See, crazy neighbor Bob, see that trailer? I'm buying it.
Right. Well, these trailers are rare. Boles Aeros are rare. So having, so finding it, here's the thing. I did take one of my guys down with me and we were able to look at the frame, and the frame was in great condition, and 3/4 of the aluminum on the outside is original. So there were just
nice.
dings around the base that had to be replaced, but the rest of it is pretty much original. We gutted the entire interior, redid the electrical, but yeah, the frame and the majority of the aluminum was completely intact.
Beautiful.
And it stunk really bad on the inside.
So the next question is, when we do get out of COVID and you're back on schedule with booking events, would you consider doing a second trailer and then involving that into the scope of work?
Yeah, so my goal is 3 trailers. My goal is 3 trailers. And I guess I'm still in the position right now of trying to figure out if there's demand for that capacity.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there is, but it's a really odd time to try to assess the complete demand, right? So I think there is. And when I went into it, the goal was 3. I think 3 is what I could manage and what I think is what the market could manage for me right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a question on that. I have more. Who wants to go next, though?
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So I know with ABC, you're saying, you can't sell open liquor.
Yeah.
But I really love your mixed idea. I mean, I would be finding your trailer pretty much every day in Chico. But can you sell?
And I'll send you some when I get them. Yeah.
Can you sell as, like if you were a retail store or liquor store, unopened alcohol that's in smaller bottles that you could actually package together with your mixers? I'd look into that.
Yes. because someone else gave me that suggestion too, selling a little bottle with the mixers in a little bag.
And it's unopened, so it's not an ABC, I don't think,
right.
Serving issue.
It's more of a reselling. I need to look, I'll look into that. The other thing that I am looking into is partnering. If I partner with a restaurant who has their, and there's enough of trust there, I can potentially use their license for certain things too.
Cool.
I have a question about your servers. So when you rent out the servers, and depending on, I mean, do you actually have people going out and taking orders and coming back and then serving like a regular event?
No, so they, so they're private events, right? So basically the servers are in the trailer. There's a wine fridge in the trailer, a kegerator in the trailer, and then there's bar space everywhere. So the bartenders are actually in the trailer serving out of the window, that big window that you saw that opens up. Mm-hmm. So people come up to the trailer, usually have a conversation about the trailer, and then grab their drink from there. Yeah.
Okay.
But much like you would at a wedding or any other event where you go out and you go up to the bar for your drink. Yeah.
I have a question, Katlyn. First of all, I really, really admire your courage. I think it's amazing, some of the things you've overcome. My question has to do with the staffing as well. Do you staff up? I was looking at your website and I see that you don't have any prices on there, that you do custom pricing based on the specific event. And so is that how you manage your staffing? Do you keep them on payroll, or how does that work?
So it's interesting about my website. I've gotten feedback too on that pricing issue of list your pricing and don't list your pricing. So I'm kind of, that website was my out of the gate website. And one of my COVID goals is to redo the website. So I'm kind of working on that and kind of trying to figure that out too. Brings that to my mind. But for staffing, I don't have enough right now to bring anybody on board as an employee. So I pay based on the event. And I try to pay them what I consider really well, because I really want them to be there. And I want the customer service piece of the whole experience is super important to me. So I pay them really well. I don't mark that up from the client. And maybe I should. I'm kind of exploring all these different things, but the customer service and the experience that you get when you come, I want people to feel as great when they come to the bar about their service as about how cool the trailer is. So that's really important to me.
So for each, I'm sorry, go ahead.
When I go to restaurants, this is how I found my bartenders so far. When I go to events or I go to restaurants, I watch, observe, and then I try to recruit.
So for each event, I guess I was thinking about consistency, because you want to have, if I have an event and my friends really like it and they want to have the same event in another 100%. City, you want to keep your consistency of the quality of how do you train them, or how do you do that?
So I have my handful that I really, really like, and I train them. So I work in the bar. I haven't had anybody up to this point. I haven't had anybody work in the bar without me yet, because they need to have enough experience. So I was starting to get enough experience in it, and then COVID hit. So I just need more practice with them to let them go on their own. The models of people, the one company in New York that I know really well, she had 12 trailers at once. And she had a lead bartender, and the lead bartender would go out with their other bartender. So that's kind of how she handled it, to make sure that the customer service was always where she wanted it. Yeah.
And I think I missed this earlier, but my last question, are you coming to Chico?
Oh, I'd love to.
My husband and I have the perfect venue. We just got rid of a 34-foot motorhome. So we have this side area in our yard. It's covered with a metal roof, and your trailer would just look beautiful there. So,
well, Ava, there you go.
Yeah.
Party
Yeah,
at
yeah.
Donna's.
Get that plan.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, since you recruit from restaurants, have you ever thought about doing hors d'oeuvres or food or anything like that?
So I am not licensed as a food truck, so I can't, and I got around certain county regulations by doing that, but also I didn't need to because I wasn't ever going to prepare food on it. But I can serve food off of it. So if it's an event that warrants the space, that I have the space to, I will turn it into a coffee bar at the end of the night. I will serve appetizers, serve desserts off of it. So we can serve off of it. I can't prep. And what that enabled me to do was honestly make the inside of the trailer prettier, because I got around the regulation of having 3 sinks in the kitchen, and they make it look really much more industrial on the inside. And I just didn't need that. So it also saved me a bunch of fees by doing that. So yes, I can serve, and I can make it what the client wants for their particular event, as long as the space provides. So if it's like a 400-person corporate event, I wouldn't be able to do that, because we would want to make the lines, free flowing. Right now, some of my 150-person weddings are turning into 75. So I can offer to the client that we can do a lot more with it.
And I think that's kind of hard to do your pricing when you try to accommodate and come up with different ideas. And it's not just one package fits all, or package A, B, and C. It has to be custom tailored to each of the events. So it is hard. And
that's what led me against listing my pricing on my website, because it really is. And I needed to feel out the market and feel what the market could bear, and kind of assess different things. But it's been interesting speaking to this woman in New York. Her initial reaction to me was, "You're way too underpriced. And you've got to be adding in things like cups and straws, and there's different." And I haven't quite gotten there yet, and I need to explore that. I just, in the Bay Area, you get some people who are like, "Oh, a mobile bar, I've never heard of that," and then other people that are like, "Oh, I've been waiting for one of these to come to the Bay Area." So if I'm talking about pricing it, I have to get in too, right? I have to make myself known and kind of have the visibility so that it's in that demand.
Have you thought about partnering with distilleries?
Yes. Oh, that is, Leanne, that is where thank you. I will write that down on my to-do list too. There is a local distillery here that I was going to contact about packaging the mixers. That's right. I was going to see if they would be willing to partner with that.
Because they could have outdoor events, see, right. And then leverage, it's a symbiotic, right?
Totally. And there is, I was contacted, it's not set in stone yet, but I was contacted last week by a restaurant owner who found me, and he is getting access in Walnut Creek to a 30-foot tent, and through the end of the year. And he wants the trailer there to serve champagne and oysters out of, or like different, maybe a taco bar night, stuff like that, to serve out of it. So we're talking about partnering up so that I can make some money and get visibility, and then it can also benefit him too.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. And I think, different people are, obviously everybody's looking for different ways to pivot on how they can. So this gentleman, his restaurant is it's on the 3rd story. It's called The Rooftop. So it's on the 3rd story of this big building. So he can now bring customers out into the parking lot if he has this cool way of selling out of the parking lot.
So Eva, does Sierra Nevada have a cool arrangement like that? There are $1 billion brewery here in.
Oh, I know.
Well, you know, it's my understanding they don't allow any other spirits, period, on site. That's my understanding. I could be wrong, but that's my understanding at the moment. Sorry about the noise behind me.
The other, you know, something with Sierra Nevada, which I've listened to their whole story on how I built this, which is amazing. So I'm very familiar with that story. But if I had access and partnership to licenses, then I could go to festivals, or I could go to, you know, block parties, street parties, those types of things. So that the partnership with a distillery or with a restaurant who has a liquor license can be really beneficial for my future.
Or downtown business associations.
Yes, which I'm in contact with Pleasantons. We're not super progressive on our ideas and thinking, so I've started reaching out to the other neighboring cities. Yeah.
One of the things I've worked with, my cousins work with Pat Paulson Winery. They're a friend of the Pat Paulson family, the late Pat Paulson, a comedian. So on Comedy Day in Golden Gate Park, they had a pretty vast audience. Of course, not these days, but so I think they're renaming it to Robin Williams Field. It was called Mark's Meadows or something like that. But anyway, when that happens again, you might consider showing up at something like that, you know.
Yeah, those are incredibly lucrative. So figuring out ways to get in with those is huge. Yeah. I could probably have one trailer designated purely for those if I did a few of those out of a year.
Oh yeah. So would you consider a longer trailer for bigger events? Or is the size you have actually fit nice and it's compact and you can get into most places?
This one's good for being able to access things like backyards and stuff like that. I did have someone tell me that if I had a trailer that was completely gutted, I don't know if you've heard of the company Shelter Co, but they rent those glamping tents and they set up for festivals and all these glamping tents. And so they had told me if you have a trailer that is gutted on the inside and we can put loungewear in, that they would rent it for that. Which, you know, it doesn't make sense just to do a trailer just for that one business, but I am exploring different things to do with the trailers that are in demand.
Nice. We only have a few minutes left because I do need to jump on a 10 o'clock webinar right after this. So I have one more question. Anyone? Well, Katlyn, thank you so much for sharing your adventure and your future adventures with us. We wish you the best of luck, and we hope that we see you in Chico sooner than later. Linda, I want to be part of that invite. And so thank you everyone for spending your time here today, taking out a moment to share your thoughts and reflections and helping Katlyn move forward. And we want to thank the organizers, our sponsors, and Coppin Foundation and 1 Million Cups. So try to share this and bring someone with you next time to watch along. Send an invite, share on your Facebook, hashtag 1 Million Cups Chico. Would be very appreciated. And everyone go out and be awesome today. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much, Katlyn.
Thank you. That was fantastic. Thanks.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.